That doe had 2 fawns behind her in the middle of June. By the first week of September, she was walking out into the clover alone, and she has been alone every night since. Now the boys at the tavern will tell you the herd is down because of the winter, or because of the tag quota, or because of the neighbor who shoots everything brown. But the Forest Service spent 3 years killing coyotes on a whitetail herd to settle this exact argument. And what they found says her fawns were already gone by the 4th of July. 8 out of every 10 fawns that died on that study ground were killed by coyotes. That number held across 4 years of watching before anybody set a trap. And only about 2 fawns in 10 were living to see fall down there in the first place. So when I say the coyotes had them, I mean they had the crop, and they had it while you were still mowing your food plot. The old hands at the Northwoods camps had the front half of this worked out, long before anybody collared a fawn. They knew a doe hides a newborn in the tall grass and walks away from it on purpose, and they knew the first month was the whole ball game. What deer camp tradition never had was the count. Now we have the count. I'm Donna Larsen. What I bring you is deer camp knowledge, the woodsmanship the old hands of the Northwoods worked out over a lifetime of seasons, gathered from how those camps actually hunted, and told the way it gets told around a camp table. Plain, honest, and no gear ad attached. The deer haven't changed. The marketing has. So sit tight, because that same research says something else and it's going to sting a little. Killing coyotes the way they usually get killed around here does almost nothing for your deer herd. Both things are true at once. There's one narrow stretch of the calendar where it absolutely works, and I'm going to put you right on it. Start with the fawn, because the fawn is the whole argument. A doe in the North Country drops from the last week of May into the middle of June, most of them inside 2 weeks of each other. A newborn can't outrun anything. Her whole defense is that she carries almost no scent and she will lie flat in tall grass while a coyote walks past her at 10 feet. Give that same fawn 4 weeks and she is a different animal up on her legs, running with mama, which is exactly what the collar studies showed. The killing stacks up in the first 4 weeks, then falls off a cliff. Now, the study everybody quotes and nobody finishes. On the Savannah River site in South Carolina, John Kilgo and his crew with the Forest Service ran the hardest coyote removal anybody has put on a whitetail herd. 3 years of it. 474 coyotes off 3 big blocks of river bottom timber. And when they were done, coyote numbers were down 78%. That's a knockdown no landowner in this country is matching on 160 acres. And the fawns? Before the killing started, about 2 in 10 made it. First year of removal, 5 in 10. Second year, back down to 2 in 10. Third year, 4 in 10. Up, down, up. And every one of those coyotes came off that ground at right around $200 a piece once they counted traps and fuel and hours. So here's where I land, and you're welcome to fight me about it in the comments. Killing coyotes works. It just doesn't work the way the fellas with the big night rigs think it works. It works in a narrow window on a small piece of ground, in the weeks the fawns are lying in the grass and can't run yet. Every other week of the year, you're killing coyotes for sport. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good time. Just don't call it deer management. Now, the timing trick I'm about to hand you has its own page in a book called Donna's Whitetail Bible. 101 field-tested tricks to stop going home empty-handed. It's for the hunter who already does the basics right. You scout, you sit still, you shoot straight, and you still watch somebody else's truck roll past with a buck in the back. Every trick in there is built around a problem that's actually costing you deer, written down plainly, with no $400 gadget attached and no logo on the page. One wasted tank of gas out to a stand that went dead 3 seasons ago costs more than the whole book. and the book tells you why the stand went dead. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you used to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time, there is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. Now, while everybody's out arguing about coyotes, there's a second animal working your ground, and up in the big timber, he's worse. In the Wisconsin Northern Forest study, somewhere between 35 and 60% of the fawns died before the 1st of September every single year. And the biggest killer up there wasn't the coyote at all. It was the black bear, then the coyote, then the bobcat. Down in the Southwest farm country where Dan Storm and his crew ran 7 years on deer and predators, the coyote sat at the top of that list. Same state, different woods, and a completely different answer. So before you declare war on anything, figure out which of those 2 counties you're actually hunting. All right, the window, yours does drop from about the last week of May into the middle of June, and the killing is concentrated in the 4 weeks after that. So the coyotes you need dead are the ones alive in April and May before the fawns hit the ground, and the ones still working that cover in June while the fawns are lying in it. That's your 6 weeks. That's the whole program, which is exactly why the fall coyote does you no good. You shoot one off a gut pile in November and you feel like you did something for the herd. You didn't. Come spring, another one has already filled that hole. The Forest Service looked hard at this in 2017 and found coyote numbers can come back to pre-trapping levels in under a year. Thin them out and the females respond with bigger litters, and new dogs move in from the next township over to take the empty ground. You can't starve them out. All you can do is be standing there during the 6 weeks that matter. And before you plan one single sit in June, go read your own state's rulebook. Seasons on coyotes, what hours you can hunt them, whether you can run an electronic call, what's legal on public land. All of that is different state to state, and it changes. Some states run coyotes year-round, some don't. That one's on you, and I'm not going to guess for you. Now, where? This is where a lot of good hunters waste a whole spring. They go hunt the coyotes where the coyotes are easy, out on the big open field where you can see 400 yards. Wrong ground. You want to be sitting where your does hide fawns because that's where the coyote is doing his shopping. So go walk your place and find the nursery. Last year's clear cut with the popple whips coming up thick. The old logging landing grew over in raspberry. The grassy fringe where the swamp gives up and the hardwoods start. The CRP corner and the brushy fence line the neighbor never brush hogged. That's a fawning cover, and here's the part that got my attention. A crew out of the University of Georgia working collared fawns in the southern Appalachians found that every single fawn with any of that young, brushy cover in its range eventually got killed by a predator. And their read on it was that when good fawning cover is scarce, the predators simply learn where it is. Think about what that means for a minute. That coyote already knows where your nursery is. He runs it every day, the same way you'd run a trap line, and he starts running it before the first fawn ever hits the ground. So your setups go on the downwind edges of those spots. Which brings us to the site itself, and it's the same game you already play with deer, only meaner. A coyote's nose is better than a whitetail's, and he uses it like a tool. He hears the call, and before he ever shows himself, he swings wide to get downwind of the sound and check it. Everybody who calls him for a living says the same thing. Don't try to beat his nose. Set it up so he has to cross an opening to get downwind. And you get your look at him while he's making the trip. So you walk in with the wind in your face, not at your back. You sit low with a dark background behind you, never up on the skyline where you're a silhouette. You want to see a long way downwind, and if you've got a buddy along, he watches downwind while you run the call. Then you give that stand 20 to 30 minutes and no more, because the dog that was coming is already there. And when you move a half mile at least. Move 200 yards and you're just calling the same coyote a second time. And now he's got your number. The sounds are simple and June makes them simpler. Fawn distress. That's the sound that works in the fawning window because it's the sound of exactly what he's already out there hunting for. Deer camp tradition would call that unsporting, and I'd call it Tuesday. Start it low, 2/3 volume or so, and let it breathe. 30 seconds of calling, half a minute of nothing, then go again. Loud and constant tells him a rabbit is dying in a stereo, and he's heard that one before. In the spring when they've got pups in the den, a pup distress or a challenge howl brings a pair mad instead of hungry. One honest warning because nobody tells you this part. A fawn bleat will bring a whitetail doe in too, hard and fast and looking for a fight. She'll come out at 40 yards, stomp, blow, and wreck the whole setup. When that happens, don't move a muscle. Let her sort herself out. Half the time the coyote is still on his way in. And now the gun, which is the reason a lot of you clicked on this in the first place. That old 30-30 lever gun standing behind the kitchen door, the one that's been in the family for 60 years, is a coyote rifle. A lot of the dogs that come to a call in thick northern cover show up close, sometimes inside 40 yards, and the men who call them will tell you the shot is almost always nearer than you planned for. A 30-30 on open sights swings onto a moving dog faster than a scoped bolt gun ever will. And inside that range, it puts him down and keeps him down. The men who hunted this country for 50 years knew it, which is why so many of those rifles hung behind so many kitchen doors, long before the catalogs told us we needed something else. Do sight it first, off a bench with the ammunition you're actually going to carry dead on at 100 yards and shoot it enough that you trust it. Then treat it as loaded every time you pick it up, keep that muzzle pointed somewhere that doesn't matter, and know exactly what's standing behind that coyote. Because in June, he's out in front of a cow pasture and a camp road instead of a snowbank. And when you go put hands on him in warm weather, wear gloves and follow current tested guidelines for handling wild canines. A June dog carries things a January dog doesn't. Buy the thermal if you want it. It's a hoot, and I'd take one. Just know that the boys at those camps have been stacking coyotes with a plain rifle and a hand call since long before anybody sold a night scope, and they were doing it in the same 6 weeks you're going to. So let's put the whole thing together because there are 3 levers here and the rifle is only one of them. 1. The 6 weeks, April and May and on into June, on your fawning cover with whatever legal rifle is already in the house. That's the only stretch of the year where a dead coyote turns into a live fawn. 2. The cover itself. If your ground has one little nursery and nothing else on it, you've built the coyote a cafeteria and hung a sign out front. More young brushy cover in more places spreads those fawns out. And a spread out fawn crop is a lot more work for one coyote to get through. 3. The one nobody wants to hear. If your fawn recruitment is in the ditch, leave some does standing this fall. Kilgo's own crew, after killing 474 coyotes and watching the fawn numbers bounce up and down and up, concluded that trapping just isn't a practical tool for most landowners trying to raise fawn survival. They put that in the paper in plain words after doing all that work. So here's the honest size of it. 6 weeks of hard, smart calling on the right 40 acres will put fawns in your woods this fall, and I'd bet a thermos on that. Shooting every dog you see the other 46 weeks mostly just fills your shed with fur. Dad always said the deer don't care what you spent. And that goes double out here. Because a $20 hand call in the first week of June does more for that doe than the thermal ever will in October. That's the kind of thing the old-timers handed out for free across a camp table. And it's set down in Donna's Whitetail Bible, 101 field-tested tricks to stop going home empty-handed, so it doesn't die with the men who worked it out. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera and point it at that square code on your screen, and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you will enjoy the video right now on screen even more, I can assure you on that. Click it right now, my friend.